the way, I think it's a little bit too obvious to, shoot people in a motorcade.
They'll poison him.
Tucker Carlson comes out and warns of a covert Trump assassination plan. Welcome back to the JP React Show, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan, shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. Now, someone who I highly respect as a freedom fighter is Alex Jones, and I love that he is getting support from people. He's no longer just in the corner being labeled by the mainstream media as a crazy conspiracy theorist. Unfortunately, too much of what he talks about is simply coming true. So one of those people that I think is giving legitimacy to Alex Jones in a well-deserved way is Tucker Carlson. Just today, Tucker Carlson was on Alex Jones' show talking about a covert assassination attempt of President Trump. We're going to show you that clip in just a second. And I have to say, how would they not have that as a potential plan in their arsenal? Try to convict him of this, and this. None of the charges go through. We finally got one to go through. 34 felony counts. Can we get him in prison? Okay, who knows? He's just getting more popular. What do we do now? What's strategy number 12? Okay, that one? Okay, we're going to have to do that in a very sneaky way. Now, before I show you the new Tucker Carlson Alex Jones clip talking about this, which I don't like that this is a valid thing to talk about, because I think there's obviously I don't like the idea of any of this happening. However, it's a possibility, and I think it needs to be talked about so people have an awareness of it, and hopefully it doesn't happen. If it were to, it's really important that people don't fall for the official narrative of what took place. So before we get to Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones' thought about this, I'll share just yesterday, I was in Alex Jones' studio with him. We were talking about how we think this election is going to play out. Alex asked me, you'll see my thoughts. I'll play that video in just a second, but I'll also share, I asked Alex, how do you think this election is going to play out? And he just said, I think they're going to assassinate him. I think they're going to poison him in a way so you can pretend oh, he died of a disease rather than a more obvious assassination attempt. And then just today, this conversation with Tucker Carlson comes out, I think is very relevant. So I'll play the quick clip, me sharing my thoughts about it on air with Alex Jones. And you'll see in the beginning, I was on with Mickey, amazing human, director of the Plandemic film series. Here are some thoughts.
It's unfolding, JB.
So I think evil is evil, but it's not stupid. These powers that are attacking Trump. So everything they've done, prosecutions, convictions, it just makes him more popular. And it frightens me to think maybe they expect that. So something I was talking about months ago is, well, if they get him in prison, they try to do this corrupt stuff of stripping him of his Secret Service. And I saw a Democratic, I don't know if it was a congressman or a senator last week, propose something. Well, if he goes to prison, we got to...
I saw that. They said throw him in Rikers, no security.
Yeah, and then...
It's a death sentence.
We know that's the death sentence, so
just a short little taste of it. You can check out the whole show if you want on Alex Jones' Twitter or his website. But this is what I was referencing. House Democrat introduces bill aimed at Trump that would strip Secret Service protection from felons. So in other words, it would strip Trump of Secret Service protection if he were to go to prison. And that is obviously a death sentence. So get Trump not alive is something that's being talked about to an extent. Now out in the open. Now to Tucker Carlson with Alex Jones. And I would dare say Tucker Carlson is a hell of a lot more informed and a little bit more intelligent than me. So I think his perspective is worth listening to consider. Here it is.
By the way, I think it's a little bit too obvious to, shoot people in a motorcade.
They'll poison him.
Do you know what I mean? 61 years later. Yeah. Or, people, there are a lot of ways. I mean, you do sort of wonder how Jack Ruby died of galloping cancer a week before his second trial.
Yeah. So if you think of a JFK assassination, whoever did it, who did it? CIA? Oh, he did. Okay. I bet he did. So if you think of an obvious assassination, there's probably too much obviousness about it to get away with it nowadays. But what they're talking about is poisoning. And we know Putin over in Russia, that's one of his favorite methods. Also, people accidentally falling out of windows from tall buildings. So as Tucker's talking about Jack Ruby, how he's all of a sudden got this very advanced cancer, all of a sudden, maybe that's possible. And also, him being alive was fairly inconvenient. So bioweapons, poisons being used in people to make them look like they're dying of natural-ish causes is, I think, unfortunately, the route they would be considering. And by the way, the second Boeing whistleblower who, spoiler alert, he died of natural causes, a mysterious illness to be exact, that was incredibly fast moving, a really dramatic infection, the mysterious, just to quote the headlines from it. So was that an assassination from Boeing or people with a vested interest around Boeing on a whistleblower? I don't know, but this is the kind of thing we're looking at, not necessarily like just blunt force physical trauma. Say more, Tucker.
What was that?
Now, they have weaponized cancer that'll kill you in 2 weeks.
Weaponized cancer that'll kill you in 2 weeks. I hope that's not true. We'll get back to this in just a second, but first I want to ask you, are you looking to lose weight so you can be more ripped and in better shape? Or are you looking to detoxify yourself because we're swimming in a sea of toxins? Or are you looking to shed stress because you too live a stressful lifestyle? Well, I'll tell you something I use to accomplish all those objectives at the same time is infrared saunas. And in my opinion, the Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket is the best way to do it. It's the most cost-effective and convenient way to do it. It's super powerful, it heats up fast, and is easy to clean up and put away so your home's not cluttered up with a big, blocky, expensive sauna. I do 30 to 40-minute sessions 3 times a week in my Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. I'm usually listening to podcasts or audiobooks while I do it so I can get smarter. I always feel fantastic after my sessions. I have less stress, I have more energy, and I always sleep better that night. Bond Charge ships worldwide in rapid time. They do easy returns and exchanges, and it comes with a 12-month warranty. And if you like to save money, all Bond Charge products are HSA FSA eligible, giving you up to a 40% tax-free savings. Upgrade many aspects of your health all at once with a Bond Charge infrared sauna blanket. You can get yours at bondcharge.com/JPReacts and use the discount code JPReacts to get 15% off. Enjoy.
A CIA psychiatrist, Jolly West visits him, and then next thing you know, I've got terminal cancer. I'm dead in a week. Okay. So, look, I don't know. I'm not a physician. I'm not a master of the dark arts, but I don't think like shooting people in public is, it's a little bit obvious at this point, but there are lots of ways that, like, honestly, if you think this is a spiritual war and you're not saying prayers every day, then you don't really think it's a spiritual war, do you? Right. And I obviously. So I really do think it's a spiritual war. I really do believe that. And these are physical manifestations of an age-old conflict. I mean, literally age-old, since the beginning of time.
By the way, I agree with Tucker. I think what's happening is spiritual warfare. I think prayer has never been more important. And the idea that, we're seeing like physical stuff, people versus people, and like corruption, I think that's just the physical manifestation of evil working through people. And then who we might call the good guys, that's physical manifestation of God working through those people to the extent that those people are open and willing to serve God's plan.
This conflict has been playing out, and we have the privilege of knowing that. Like, this is kind of the last conclusion I ever thought I would come to in my life, growing up in a materialist, rational world in Southern California in the 70s and 80s. If you'd told me that by 55 I'd be like sitting talking to Alex Jones about how we're in a spiritual war, I would have been like, what? No, I don't think so. But it's just so obvious. And so
by the way, that footage you're seeing of Trump being rushed off stage at a Nevada rally, that's from 7 years ago. That didn't just happen.
I do think prayer plays a huge, huge role in this, like a pivotal role in it. And I hope people take that seriously. But they can't allow him. I've only reached this conclusion recently because it's not obvious as a political analysis. Like, there are other ways to get what you want than what they're doing. Trump as a symbol is deadly to them. If Trump is elected again, their whole system, like, they fear that their whole system, and not just the government, but, the spider web of NGOs and publicly traded businesses.
It emboldens the people. I mean, that's it. He's not out to get the people, even though he makes mistakes. He's pro-human, pro-populist. He went to Kim Jong-un and said, let's just build hotels and casinos. What's your problem? He wants success, and they're feudal controllers. They don't want that.
Well, I just think as a symbol, you're absolutely right. But as a symbol, if he becomes president, what does it suggest? It suggests that their whole sort of empire of bullshit is like collapse.
And that kind of suggests that there would be a lot of vested interest in getting Trump out of the way. That is not news. We're seeing them do that in ways that don't involve the loss of his life. But I would love to sit here and tell you, I think Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson are absolutely crazy for even talking about how an assassination of President Trump could be part of the plan. However, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're crazy. I would sit here and say, to me, it seems crazy not to consider. Tyrannical people would be considering that and potentially even having plans to attempt that. To me, it would be crazy not to acknowledge that would be a reality, as Tucker Carlson said, because of what Trump symbolizes. I think he symbolizes power to the people, and that is absolutely antagonistic against the evil agenda that wants to take more and more power from people to consume it for its demonic self. Let me know if you think this is crazy or if you think it's unfortunately a reality worth discussing. Let me know in the comments below. I'll look forward to seeing what you have to say about it, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay alive.